I want to give a brief summary of this next one, which is arguably the most important one, which I'd love to spend a lot of time on, but I don't want to keep you too long. And I'm looking here on the call, and Dr. Dixie Short in the chat room is just saying that this totally rings true for totally rings true for me because I'm a doctor with a PhD, and people assume I am unable to provide a special personal touch. Um, as a byproduct, I spend more time on that than on establishing credibility. So they're coming through the other side, from the other side, saying, "Oh, as a PhD, yeah, I do need to focus on marketing that special personal touch." Yeah, and the health and wellness practitioners, they need to focus on the marketing to credibility and not the personal touch. So, and Andrea's saying, "Oh, she already got certified through AABC," and thanks, John. Well, great, 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 Andrea. Uh, all right, solution number 3, develop a specialty. I just really can't um, underestimate the value to your practice to developing a specialty. And I'm going to go through it. Um, that really it's all about this. I think this is where your success will come from. Because once you develop a specialty, you'll have a great niche company like that Nurtured Bones website. And having a niche really keeps your practice solution focused and client focused. It improves your professionalism, expertise, and prestige in the community. Just think about it. I tried really hard to find examples of alternative health and wellness practitioners that that were um, that with a specialty, and it's hard. It's hard to find them. Like Google Ayurveda and diabetes, or acupuncture and multiple sclerosis, right? It's hard to find practitioners who have that specialty. What does that mean? That means that any one of you could differentiate your practice in like 6 months from now by having a specialty. If you put 6 months of time into studying and focusing on MS and create an entire practice around MS, you'd be like our national expert on Ayurveda and MS, right? And when I had a client, guess what I would do? If I knew that you had put in 6 months to multiple sclerosis, guess what I would do if I had a client with MS? I would meet with that client once or twice, and then I'd be like, I don't know anything more about MS. I focus on digestive wellness, and my practice is about digestive wellness. You should talk to Alicia Grisey. She's a person on the I see on the call tonight. I don't know what she specializes in, but if she specializes in MS, I would be referring my client to her, right? If I knew that Andrea Sankaran, who by the way runs Good Gut Ayurveda, great website, and who's doing this, right? She is doing she has that specialty, a great website to take a look at. Good Gut Ayurveda. She has developed this specialty, and you can see how effective her marketing is. She's done a great job, and um, and so you know uh, if if you have a practice in in women's health, and someone comes to you with digestive issues, maybe you will send them to Good Gut Ayurveda. Maybe you'll send them to Joyful Belly. Maybe you'll send them to both, right? But that's how you develop a referral network, is by having an expertise in something, right? It increases your prestige, not just in the Ayurveda community or the acupuncture community, but in the whole health and wellness industry in your area, including with medical doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners and osteopaths and chiropractors and massage therapists and yogis and you will quickly learn how to solve your clients' problems that way. This will increase the value to the client and the price of your consultations. You could like double the fee of your consultation just by having a specialty, and that is going to really you know, That's going to help you financially. Your clients will notice you, and they'll just feel comfortable that they won't lose their investment. It improves receptivity and retention, your client receptivity and retention. It aids in strategic branding. Remember that Nurtured Bones site that was talking about becoming a cripple? That's strategic branding. She knows that nutritionist knows the client's needs and wants, knows their fears, knows their pain point, and is providing solutions to fix it. Awesome. Very awesome. Oftentimes, when you have a specialty, you know your client's demographic information, you know their age, you know their gender. You can choose customized images and copywriting to get that high receptivity and retain loyal customers. You can find the right media channels for advertising. Which doctors in the community should you contact? Well, I would contact um, chiropractors. I would contact osteopaths, and I would contact any bone specialist uh, in uh, in the in the community, and that's where I'm going to build my referral network. Right? Having a specialty reduces competition. In fact, it transforms the clients. Excuse me. It transforms competing colleagues to an easy referral network. Right? If I just said I was a general Ayurveda practitioner, now you and I are in competition with each other, right? If you say you're a general Ayurveda practitioner, well, referring to you is loss of business to me, right? But if you specialize in women's health and I specialize in digestion, if Andrea has a special program teaching people how to cook, which she does, and and you have a client that needs to know how to cook, and Andrea has clients that that have women's health issues. Now you're, instead of competing, you guys are a referral network, right? Diana Butterfield on the call, a past nurse practitioner, has special skills, right? If we all knew each other's special skills, and if we all were developing a specialty, we could easily refer clients to one another. And that's where your patient volume comes from, right? A client may come to you with a digestive problem, and if you're a good practitioner, you're going to fix their digestive problem, and you're never going to see them again, but you will see your referral network again. When you develop a specialty, you become a thought leader. You become the go-to physician. You become the go-to doctor. You become the go-to practitioner. Reporters in your town are much more likely to publish or share your articles. I can think of look at your local county newspaper, or in Asheville here, we have some publications, a few different magazines and things, and I could write a wonderful targeted article, and that would really establish me as a go-to practitioner. And the reporter is likely to publish it because they look at my website and they're like, "Oh, this person specializes in that. Yeah, I'll publish their article." So, um, let's look at some Ayurveda practitioners who are successful clinicians with this strategy. I already mentioned Andrea Sankaran, who's on the call with Good Ayurveda. Claudia Welch, she balances women's hormones. She wrote a book about it. Isha Oakes, she passed away, but before she did, she had the most vibrant postpartum care practice in the country. Joyful Belly on digestive health. This is website here with Cove that I looked at too. There's just these specialized sites really get the client's attention, and even specific diseases. Some other examples of targeted specialties you could develop. A respiratory disorders, targeting firemen going into buildings, right? You could do muscle, ligament, tendon injuries, targeting police officers, or the same topic, targeting athletes, or fatigue, targeting public school teachers. When you develop a specialty, it helps your community appreciate your value, and helps them appreciate you. And here's the thing, as for our prospective students on this call, because there probably are some people who are thinking about our program, And you may have to, justify to a spouse or to a parent or a boss at work or something like that, the time and money that you're going to spend studying Ayurveda at the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda, right? And um, and how are you going to justify that? Right? You're going to be like, okay, how are you going to convince them? My father, before he passed away, was a New York cop. And, how am I going to explain to my dad that, hey, studying Ayurveda is really useful, right? How do you explain that? How do you explain it after you've been 10 years in practice? How do you explain the usefulness of it? If the client doesn't know the word, they don't even know what it is. Developing a specialty makes that explanation easy. All right. Think about these two examples. Telling your spouse, I'd like to study Ayurveda. It's a growing upcoming field and I'm very excited about it. Your spouse is like, okay, how's it going to help the family? Right. How about answer number two? I'd like to study Ayurveda to reduce arthritis among construction workers. I've been in the construction industry for 15 years. This is an actual case, by the way. Um, one of our students. I've been in the construction industry for 15 years and know how many of them suffer. Taking a look at some stats, there are over 5,000 construction workers in our county alone. And you can find those stats because you've chosen a specialty. So you have, you even like have a question that you could ask about the stats, right? Nobody else is offering a targeted solution to this group. I believe I could easily contact all licensed contractors in our area and promote my services to them, and even write a small newsletter each month for them. At only 10 clients a week, I could contribute $50,000 a year to our family income. Now, if you go to your spouse with a statement like that, that shows a well thought out plan for how you're going to use your education at our school. And you may have graduated from a different school and still not have that plan, that well thought out plan for making your clinic successful. But that's how you do it. All right. Let me recap. Biggest mistakes: trying to appeal to everyone, promoting your practice as a luxury purchase, competing for recognition as being emotionally advanced or spiritually advanced, um, having a practitioner instead of a patient centered culture. The top solutions: focusing on your client's need. After establishing relevancy, focus on building credibility, not convincing them what they already know, that you have a personal touch, and develop a specialty. Next time I give a presentation on marketing, I'm going to talk about awesome strategies for building a referral network that I have just really never seen out there. Like we all were taught how to build a referral network in school that we went to and given a few tips on it. I have some more tips that will blow that out of the water, which I think is a really, really important and highly focused way of building a referral network, and also discussing some different advertising models in alternative medicine, which would be great to talk about. Today's talk was brought to you by the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda and the American Association of Biocharacteristics Clinicians. I want to thank everybody for attending today's talk. Every time you promote yourself and your clinic, you are educating the public about the value of alternative health and wellness. That helps us all, right? You doing your efforts makes the world a better place. When you put your stuff out there, it increases awareness generally, and it's awesome. And I want to help everyone do that really effectively and improve professionalism in the Ayurveda profession so that your clinical practices are just vibrant and very successful. So hopefully today's talk was helpful, and I'll stay on the line for conversation if anybody has specific questions they'd like to ask or anything like that. But my screen is doing that weird thing again, which I just got to get a new computer. I'm realizing this computer has been great for a while, but I'll be back in 1 second. And I see everyone saying thank you. And I also just again want to thank you. Want to thank you for putting yourself out there and you know being bold and courageous and bringing Ayurveda's benefits, acupuncture's benefits, chiropractor, whatever whatever alternative practice you're in. Thanks for bringing the benefits to our community and offering that rich diversity of great health and wellness to the public. All right, give me a minute. I'll be back in just a second. All right, I'm back. I'm glad that it's been helpful. I can read your chats now because my screen is not doing that. So I see a bunch of people saying it was very helpful. I'm really grateful that that you all found it helpful uh, and happy to share with you. You know, I learned some of these things the hard way, right? I really did. I'm gonna just want to say I learned a lot of these things the hard way. So if if you don't have to learn it the hard way, then great. That's a good thing. So happy to take any questions. Anybody have any questions for me? You know, I'm gonna suggest a question, right? Um, the that you ask about a target market idea you have. I'm going to suggest that question because that's a great discussion, right? And it's almost like the first discussion to have when you sit down to write your business plan, right? If you're like wondering what what kind of business or clinic you're going to create, don't think about the legal setup and all that first. The very first thing is think about your client. What community will you serve? What um what problem does the community have? Right? Think about that. That is the question, right? Begin with a service in mind and a service oriented approach, and it will all come together very beautifully from that point of view, and hash it out with people, right? Hash out that target market. Talk to them. Be like, what do you think about this target market? What do you think about that? And any target market's a good target market, but you still have to know how to think about that target market, right? So, so Jessica's saying she draws clients in need of Ayurveda psychology. Is this too saturated? Okay. So Jessica, what I was saying before, if that's the focus of your practice is Ayurveda psychology, that's not too saturated. But if you're a practitioner who is focused on general Ayurveda and you're fixing, women's health, digestive health, skincare, stress too, and you're putting all these Ayurveda psychology in there, you're kind of, it's not a focus, but then it looks like it is a focus and it's just kind of not quite right. But if you build a whole practice on Ayurveda psychology, that's not too saturated. But also, Jessica, I would say that psychology is extremely vast. The entire mind is as vast as the entire body. So if you were going to have a Ayurveda psychology target market, you would go more specific than that, like marriage counseling or trauma, or you would do eating disorders, which, by the way, is like ripe for the picking in Ayurveda because, wow, people with eating disorders, they focus on diet as the solution to their problems, right? And it's a serious medical condition. And you're great at psychology, Jessica. So, you know, uh, and so, yeah, so what you want to do is, Jessica, pick a psychology problem that, and you could pick a psychology problem that you feel called to solve, but I wouldn't, but all of psychology is way too broad. So I would really narrow that one down a little further. If your practice could help anyone and everyone, you probably have not yet made it narrow enough yet. Dee Dee's thinking about community need around her and servicing a targeted group of mothers, and how understanding constitution and nature of self, children, and husband has been profound and practically helpful in daily life. Okay, great. So Dee Dee, one of the things I found when you're helping mothers is that as you know, mothers tend to be younger, right? If you're um, a younger audience, getting older these days, but a younger audience, especially if you're targeting young mothers with children, as opposed to say teenagers or or even college age, and that group may not have a lot of. Oh, you're 48. Okay, yeah. So if you're dealing with a group that's more established and 35 plus, then they more than likely have funds. But if you're dealing with a younger maternal crowd, then sometimes support groups and things like that are a little more effective, because the moms, they need community, and they also may not have the $120 a session to drop on your services. So when you're going into that market, you just want to think about what age group you're targeting and then shift around so that you're still making the same amount of money per hour of your time, but that you may be focusing on a group or something like that. And in general, I think that a proper, Ayurveda practice is going to include some, hybrid set of services for the target market. Yeah, good. So you're thinking about that, sharing circles with small costs that fits within family budget. Yeah, yeah, great, great. Yeah, and again, think about what are the absolute needs? Because that's the thing, is it a luxury purchase? Is it a need? What is the need? And really thinking that aspect through, and addressing it on in your marketing, and show pictures of the sharing circle, or yeah, just make your images and everything just fit in exactly, so the mom feels like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I would do. Yeah, yeah. So Angelique, you're saying that your market is saturated. Tell me more. What group are you reaching out to? And maybe you're typing your answer, but
Say I'm
oh, there you
not.
are.
So when I first started my Ayurveda journey, I guess you can say my main target audience was oncology, or like post chemo, and also people dealing with autoimmune issues. But in where I live, like Eastern modalities it's a very saturated area. We have many schools, there's many practitioners doing many different things, but we don't have that many community-based programs where just even learning about natural changes you can make in your life that could be beneficial or therapeutic is not accessible. I'm not
Yeah,
sure that I'm wording this right. I'm so
yeah.
tired. I
Oh, I
can't.
know. I know. Me too. I've been talking for like an hour and 50 minutes.
I
I
think
hear
it's
you.
more educating the community and especially the people who don't have the finances to incorporate any of this into their life.
Yeah.
Letting them know that it's available and it can be attainable. You just have to be provided the tools and some tools and the knowledge.
Yeah. So tell me a little more. Are there a lot of practitioners who specialize in oncology in your area?
No,
Alternative practitioners. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there
not
you go.
not in Ayurveda.
Yeah. Yeah. So you may have one or two in a different modality, but if a client has trouble with oncology and there's three practitioners in the area, they may go to all three, right? So even if there's one other one in town, that's no problem. And there's yeah, so if you're in a saturated area, you probably have a lot of people in the area too, and a lot of people have cancer, and so that should be no problem. That sounds great. Sounds like you can be really successful.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's something that I have personal experience with as well. So not even just on my own post-cancer journey, but the tools weren't provided to me and I didn't know where to find them. And I had to work very hard and got very lucky just meeting a few people to hold my hand along the way.
Yeah, that was me with digestive stuff because I had all these digestive problems, and when way back when, 13 years ago on the internet, there wasn't really a lot of information about Ayurveda and digestion, or really just digestion from a natural and herbal point of view. Generally, just the information wasn't really online that much. So I had to really, dig for it. And well, the results of that were good for me, good for my clients. Yeah. Well,
Great.
good. I've
Thank you
kept
so much.
everybody on the call almost for 2 hours, and I'm glad to spend the time with you all. I'm going to give everybody their night back or their morning, as some of you are calling from the Pacific Rim. And I hope everyone that tonight was helpful, and look forward to getting a chance to talk with you all some more.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Take care, everybody.